Son, have I got a little story for you. What you thought was a playoff team was nothing but. While you're sitting home alone on a weekend, Seattle Mariners were dying. Oh, wait, they're still alive. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Vintown Mariners podcast, the number one podcast for Mariners fans that is recorded in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm Vintown, and I'm here to talk about the team which refuses to die or refuses to be killed, or really what it really is their killers refuse to kill them, or unalive, as we say these days. The Seattle Mariners are somehow still alive. They still have a 6.9% chance of the playoffs. 6.9. Um, so what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? How are they going to do this? They got 18 games left. 18 games left to play. 6.9% chance. A stronger wild card chance than they had, thanks to the Twins getting swept this weekend. But still, the easiest path is probably the AL West, because that's who you play. 18 games left. Good news. 12 games are at home. Bad news, 3 of those are against the Yankees and 2 are against the Padres, but 12 games at home. This year, the Mariners are 41-28 at home. Good news, besides the Rangers and the Athletics, all those teams are above 500, because the Mariners actually have a negative record against below 500 teams. They are 37-29 against above 500 teams this year. So, yeah. The key thing, though, I think, is the home games. I want to bury this team dead. I want to give up on them. It'd be a lot easier to move into like off-season thinking, because it's just gonna not feel good when it comes down to the final days and they're 2 games out and they need 2 perfect results and they don't get either one. That's how it always goes. Everyone's been saying that, and I've thought for a while that it wouldn't happen. I've thought, like, if they're going to miss the playoffs, they're going to miss them by like 3-4 games, and it's not even going to be close. But it's looking like it might actually be the thing again. 4.5 games out of the division, 3.5 games out of the wild card. Twins losing 6 out of the last 10 games. Kansas City Royals losing 6 out of their last 10 games. But let's talk back about this road trip. Mariners finished 5-5. I said in the last episode, if they would score 4 runs in every game, they would have finished 8-2. If they had scored 4 runs in every game, they would have finished 8-2. Instead, they finished 5-5. There was, I would say, one game that was probably cost by the manager, leaving Brian Wu in too long. But then you're talking, who knows what the bullpen does? Who knows anything? But yeah, it wasn't a great road trip. Like, you can't expect these guys to be perfect all the time, but they're at the point where they have to be perfect all the time. 5-5 is not as bad as some of the more recent road trips, but it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's never been good enough. It's like a thing with this Seattle Mariners team where people have said, oh, they had to fire Scott Service because they were flying so high, and then they blew it. Like, they were never flying high. They always had the worst record of a playoff team when they were the division leader. They're always lucky to be in the division that they're in. They were never flying high. Like, I remember early, I saw some people who say, this is the best Mariners team we've seen since 2001. And it's just not true. It was like the most in first place team we've seen since 2002 or 2003 or whatever it was. But it's not the best team, not even close. One thing is, I've believed in this team, I've not given up, is because I still don't think we've seen their best stretch of play that they're capable of. Like, I just don't think we've seen it. They've never won more than 4 games in a row. They've never had a month where they won more than 15 games. It's just been like, okay. And if they had stayed just okay and not had like the 2 shitty months, they would still be in a good position. But now they actually have to do a good. They have to be good. They have to be really good. I pulled this thing up. What is it called? It's called playoff status. They have a what if. The Mariners, if they win 12 of their last 18 games, which is, I think, the bare minimum of what they have to do, they would make the playoffs 35% of the time. 35% of the time. And that's, I know there's 12 home games and 6 road games, so that's why it's easy. They're not going to sweep the home games, but honestly, if they win most of them, they win 8 and 4 whatever, 9 and 3, 9 at home and 3 on the road, something. It doesn't really matter. I think that's the bare minimum that they would have to win to make the playoffs, and then even then they need a lot of help. But if you're talking 13, 14, 14 and 4, that would be fantastic. But we haven't seen anything close to that level of play. I just don't know if we're going to see that. But there is, hey, silver linings, silver linings, this is Silver Linings Playbook. That's what this episode is. Rangers, 7 games against the Rangers, 3 games against the Athletics. We just saw what happened against the Athletics. The Rangers, though, their offense has not been good and their pitching is still bad. They can win those games. The Astros, that's the key to the whole thing, how they play in those 3. But you can't get swept by the Yankees. You can't get swept in 2 games by the Padres. Like, those are things you can't do. If you're gonna go, what did I say? If you're gonna go 12-6, you can't do that because then you literally have to be perfect, and you can't be perfect. So I mean, even if they lose 2 out of 3 of the Yankees, they have to show up big against the Rangers. They have to show up. They have to at least split with the Padres, and then they have to really show up in the Astros series. It's like not, it's not probable. It's not a high likelihood, but I'm glad that they at least have this chance because I do think this has been the number one pitching staff, and the offense has been one that has sucked, but has talent to be better. Julio. I have this whole thing about Julio I was gonna do regarding his contract because I think that was why he is pressing extra hard earlier in the year. I can get deeper into it another time, but he needs to finish in the top 5 of the MVP 4 times in the next 6 years to unlock $150 million extra dollars in his contract. And if you don't think that's putting pressure on the guy, I just don't even know what to tell you. That's probably driving him in ways that we can't understand because that's a lot of money. That's a huge difference. He would either need to win 2 MVP awards in the next 6 years or win 1 and finish high. But the easiest way is to be in the top 5, basically every year. His start plus his injury cost him this year. So now it's going to be even more pressure on next year, or maybe he's releasing the pressure. I don't know. But I think he's playing a lot looser these days, not so concerned, and that's been better. Adam Drew wrote up this whole thing after the loss the other day, or after a win, and then they lost the next game and got shut out. Because if you write an article about how good the offense is fixed or whatever, it's going to go bad. It's funny on YouTube, sometimes I watch Mariners videos, and then I'll get recommended, it's always funny when you get recommended, a podcast from, a month ago, and I saw one from the Sick podcast, a very sus Mariners podcast because he has a George Kittle jersey in the background, but his was is the Mariners offense fixed 1 month ago? There's another one from Marine Layer 2 months ago. Since this date, the Mariners offense has been one of the best in the league. Just never buy that stuff. It's got to sustain. It's got to continue. As soon as you start saying it, it disappears. That's sort of what happened on Saturday, but it did bounce back on Sunday. So maybe there is something. Maybe there is something with the magic of Edgar and Dan the Man. But anyways, let's go over these next games. Luis Castillo looking like he's headed for the injured list. That is not exciting to see, but You're only going to miss 3 starts, maybe 4 playoffs. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's not the worst time for this to happen, especially with the Rangers games in there where they don't have like the elite pitching that you're going to need to match. But Padres games, Padres are a really good team. Really good team. Padres are 81-64. They're also 5-5 in the last 10. So maybe the Mariners did sweep them 2 on the road. That was nice. So hey, maybe that continues. Maybe they just are going to dominate the Vetter Cup this year. The Rangers, like I said, the Rangers. Let's look up some team stats. The Rangers, honestly, it feels hard to believe. Last year, uh, you know, all offense, the worst bullpen ever, but just the offense carried them to the World Series. This year, they're 23rd in baseball with a 94 WRC plus. Um, just not good. Like sort by home runs, Texas is 21st at 148. That's bad. The Mariners have more home runs than the Rangers. Like that seems really hard for me to believe, especially when you consider the 2 home stadiums and just some of the names on the teams. Like it's really been bad. The pitching, the Rangers have had a lot of pitching injuries, but they just have a 4.32 team FIP, 25th in baseball. Like yeah, the Mariners might have to face like DeGrom or Scherzer or something like that, but as a team, it's not good. And as a team in FIP, they rank 26th with a 4.39 FIP. So like it's possible the Mariners could win all these games. I don't think that they will because when does it ever go that way? But they could. They could really do that. The Yankees are the Yankees. The Mariners are going to have to find a way to not pitch to Soto or Judge. Um, they have a 122 positive run differential, second best in all of baseball. You won't believe the number 1 team is the Milwaukee Brewers. Doesn't make any sense, but it's true. That said, the Yankees 4-6 over the last 10. Their bullpen is falling apart right now. Over the past month, the Yankees bullpen has a 5.29 ERA and a 4.26 FIP. Like, yeah, it's been some bad luck here and there, but those are real stats. Those are real stats. So yeah, I'm trying. This is a Silver Linings playbook. And hey, listen to this. Listen to this lineup. Okay. Both games against the Padres, Mariners value games. Thursday against the Rangers, bark at the park. I would like to see the Mariners bark at the park record because I bet it's pretty good. Friday, a dance party fireworks night with music by Diplo. Um, Even with his, you know, dark web rumors of sexual assault. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Doesn't matter. That's going to be a wild day. Luis Castillo pop night on Saturday. Who wouldn't like a Luis Castillo pop collectible? I can't wait to go to when I make my vacation to Seattle next month and go to the thrift stores to find one. I can't wait. That's gonna be great. Sunday, Roberto Clemente Day. Come on, come on. The Mariners, they love Roberto Clemente. And then you got the three against the Yankees. Irish Heritage Night. Come on, come on. You think the Seattle Mariners are gonna lose Irish Heritage Night to the Yankees? Come on, like that's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. Wednesday the 18th, no special promotions. Wow, I didn't know that that was possible. And finally, the most guaranteed win of the day. Call your bookies, call your sports book, go to the EQC casino because on Thursday, September 19th, it is Fraser Day. Do you think the Mariners are going to lose when we're tossing salads and scrambled eggs from heaven? I mean, come on. Come on. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day. I'm circling that one on my calendar. But yeah, this home, it's like I set the date of the end of this road trip, this 10-game road trip, to be like, this is when I'll know if they're dead or not. Somehow they're not because the Astros just like refuse to take hold of it, and the Mariners refuse to like play bad enough or good enough. So now, like the new date is going to be the 19th. Like they have to play good on this homestand. They have to win this homestand. We're looking at 9 games. I think 6 is the minimum. 9, 7 would be the best. Well, 9 would be the best, but 7 I would say the most likely and most possible. Most possible. That's the date, and then you have to just beat up Texas. 6 games, Rangers, Astros, and then don't let the Athletics ruin your season at the end of the year again. So yeah, what does that amount to? It amounts to 6.9% chance. What's unfortunate is the Mariners have a harder schedule than the Astros or the Twins or the Royals, if you want to include them. They have a harder rest of the season schedule. Does it matter at this point? Because I don't know if it does. Like, are the Astros, if the Astros go 10-0 against the Angels and the Athletics, then I guess they deserve to win the division. But I think the Angels and Athletics will give them just as much trouble as they gave the Mariners. And the Twins, who knows? Who knows what's up with them? They do play the Reds. The Ty France magic could keep going. The Twins do play Cleveland, Boston, and the Orioles. Those are tough teams. And really the Yankees and the Astros is the only real tough ones for the Mariners and the Padres. But like the Astros, I don't even want to call it tough because it's not. Like if you're the same team, like yeah, your sliders are raised a bit higher and lower, but you're the same team. So those aren't hard games, quote unquote hard games. Those are games that's like one of you are going to win and one of you is not. And hopefully that's the Mariners. But yeah, anything's possible. Let's talk real quick about the Seattle Mariners offense under Dan the Man. On August 23rd, when the Seattle Mariners fired Scott Service, they had a team WRC plus of 97 with a 216 batting average and a 364 slugging percentage. When they got rid of Scott Service, the man who was responsible 100% for all of these things, and hired our hero, Dan the Man Wilson, who is here to save the Seattle Mariners since August 23rd. The team has a 116 WRC plus with a 236 batting average and a 384 slugging percentage. I mean, we are talking through the roof here, people. The offense is much better in the 15 games. That's just an undisputable fact, and it's undisputable that Dan Wilson and Edgar Martinez are 100% responsible for it. So how did we get here? We got here because Victor Robles is hitting 424 with a 606 slugging percentage, a 216 WRC plus. That's how we're here. Dylan Moore, once left for dead, is finally back in his role of primarily playing against lefties, and he has a 296 batting average, 429 on base percentage, 519 slugging percentage, a 174 WRC plus. He's been worth half of a WAR in this period since Dan the Man Wilson came to save him. Luke Raley, great numbers as well, 600 slugging percentage with 3 home runs and 41 at bats. Julio Rodriguez remembered that he's an all-star because Edgar Martinez whispered it in his ear. He's been hitting 271, 371, 458 with 3 home runs. Justin Turner even, 267 batting average, 130 WRC plus. Randy Rosarena, 129 WRC plus. Josh Rojas hitting 273 with a 106 WRC plus. And of course, Cal Raleigh, the man, 2 home runs, 108 WRC plus. I mean, this is a real offense. This is a real lineup. Now, hey, did Jerry DiPoto fire Scott Service at a specific time when the schedule was kind of nice looking up ahead and these guys could have some good results? How dare you say such a thing? Dan Wilson and Edgar Martinez have simplified the approach, and they've made this team much better, and that is the only thing you need to know. Also, one note, it's only 8 plate appearances, but Luis Urias has a 429 batting average, a 500 slugging percentage, and a 1.143 slugging percentage, 1 home run, 2 runs scored. What did we ever send this guy down? He's been worth 0.3 WAR in 2 games. So why do we ever get rid of this guy? I'm glad he's back. I'm so glad to have him back. The point of this really is like, of course, this is what's happening. Like, they were due for this. They were due for a time when things kind of went well at the plate. Unfortunately, it came at a time when things haven't gone 100% perfect with pitching, and they've still had a couple bad offensive games in here. But like this offense, times like this were always in here. These guys are major league hitters, you know, major leagues. That's the best league. To make it to this level, you have to know what you're doing at the plate. And for the past 6 months or whatever it's been, that's not been the case, but all of a sudden it's the case. Perfect timing. So if this is the silver lining, I think we can keep the hits. I would like to see more power, but I'll take more base hits because we haven't had those. We haven't had anything. I'll take it all and just continue to watch and see what happens. I'm not a football fan. That's really boring. I'd much rather watch a team strike out a lot. And I mean the opposing team, not the Mariners, because they don't do that anymore because Edgar Martinez is here. He's taught them all that strikeouts are bad. So yeah, that's the episode today. I'm just going to keep on watching these hits, keep on watching this team. Hopefully, it keeps going. Good times keep happening. And I'll be back on either Thursday or Friday or Monday to say it's over all over again. Bye now.